Hello, hello. It's been forever since I've done a live stream. This was pretty spontaneous. We will go ahead and maybe give a little bit of time for people to show up and join the stream. But it has been a long time since I've done a live stream, so I kind of just want to do something like on the spot, little spontaneous. It's been a long time. Just kind of want to do like a chill live stream, Q&A, just have a little chat. Just gonna give some people a little bit of time to show up. What's up, Marcos? It's been a while since I've done a live stream, so I'm a little rusty. Might be a little bit rusty, so bear with me on that. But yeah, just been kind of a while since I've done a live stream, and just kind of want to touch base and do a quick little, probably not too long, just kind of see what's on people's minds and what's going on and what you guys want to talk about or chat about. Oh, yeah, thank you, Koj, and thank you for all the support. You are a really, cool supporter, and actually, you were on the first panel that I live streamed on as a guest. So thank you for still supporting, and thank you for including me in your work. The Snyder Cut, the Snyder Fighters. Sorry if I got the name wrong, but thank you for your support, and keep up with your channel as well. First time in live stream chat. Oh, okay. Well, thank you. Yeah, it's pretty spontaneous. I didn't really plan it like ahead of time. I've kind of been wanting to do one lately, but sometimes live streams are just kind of hard to get to and can be a little nerve-wracking. But thank you for being here. Thomas, I am doing pretty good. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for asking. Thank you. I hope you're doing well also. Thank you, Koj. Yeah, your content's awesome too, and I pretty sure you put a lot of, well, not pretty sure, your work I'm sure has a lot of tedious and time consuming tasks. So it's really cool that you include other content creators in your videos and the things that you create. So awesome. I hope everyone can hear me okay. What's up, Reverse Star? Thank you for joining in the chat. I get nervous too, the mask doesn't block it. Yeah, well, I guess that kind of might help with the nerves a little bit. But I guess, a lot of people are usually like, oh, you don't seem nervous, but then, you feel it. So yeah, just some people are kind of joining. So just kind of want to do like a Q&A. There's been, or just, it doesn't have to only be about movies and stuff like that. It can just be whatever's on your mind, just whatever's going on. There's been a lot of talk, that's for sure. There's been a lot of talk. There's been a lot of rumors and speculation and a whole bunch of stuff going on as far as the movie world is concerned. Some stuff that's been released, in theaters, streaming. So there's been a lot, and of course, a lot of things coming out since the merger has happened. And, there's been quite a few things to talk about. So Marco says, Superman, hope The Rock's agent is working on getting Cavill signed to WB Discovery for Superman new movies. I hope so too. There's been a lot of, talk about that as well, a lot. So, I don't know. It's just, I don't see how that couldn't happen with Danny Garcia being, working with both of them so closely and, being like a producer on Black Adam. It's, someone's getting mad in the background. Someone's mad. So I do hope that happens too. And the whole thing with the cameos that's been coming out recently, I made a video about it. But excuse me for just a second. The whole thing with the supposed cameo or appearance that Superman's rumored to be having in the Black Adam movie. Supposedly they added a credit post credit scene, and I'm sure you guys saw that. I made a video about it too. Another faceless Superman cameo where we don't see him, but you see kind of his shadow, like you see his silhouette, sort of, because it's Superman, and he's talking to Amanda Waller, and she's talking to him about Black Adam. I really hope that's not the case. I hope we don't get another faceless Superman where it's like a body double, a stand-in. I hope that's not the case. We all want to see Henry Cavill back as Superman. As far as other things that have been coming out about like him not wanting to do a cameo, like he's the problem and he doesn't want to do it. I think that could be the case. I wouldn't consider him being the problem. I would think of it as he doesn't want to do that without knowing that he's going to have a future as Superman in a larger capacity and not just cameos. And I don't blame him for that if that's his view. I don't know if that's the case, but I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, that's kind of what I think. And I think that that's why maybe he didn't do the Shazam cameo, because the director had said that they weren't like they did want to have it was supposed to be Henry Cavill as the cameo, but that didn't happen. He didn't share the details about that, so we don't know what happened. But hopefully, we don't get another one. Like I would just rather not have a Superman cameo at all. I don't want a silhouette of Superman that's not Henry Cavill. I don't want a faceless or headless Superman. I don't want him not saying anything or not having any dialogue. It's not. I hope that doesn't happen. Let's see. Raya, oh, thank you. Oh, thank you for the support. Nice to see you here. Um, yes, do pre-order Zack Snyder's Justice League digital. I know it's kind of silly to pre-order a digital thing. It might seem silly because they're not going to like run out of copies, but it just kind of, it does show the studio that there is high demand and that fans appreciate it. Even those of us who did get a physical copy, like I did, I still pre-ordered my digital copy. So yes, make sure to do that. Continue to show support. Here's a non-movie related question, and thank you for asking. What's your greatest motivation for lifting/working out? I think this is a common question for people who try to work out on a regular basis or do some kind of physical activity regularly. I think that like a lot of times people think it's motivation, and I think more importantly, it's like discipline or consistency. Consistency is really like, I mean, they go hand in hand, because you're not going to feel motivated all the time. There's going to be days, weeks, whatever periods of time that you are not motivated. So more importantly is just to be consistent, even when you're not feeling motivated or you kind of feel like crap. Like not all workouts feel good. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you're just like, God, everything feels heavy. Everything feels like crap. I can't breathe through any of this. Some days just don't feel good at all. But you're like, I'm doing something, which is still better than doing nothing. And I still got through it. I still got through a workout. So even when I feel even, okay, other types of loss of motivation. Oh, I feel like I'm not seeing progress, or I'm not making I'm not seeing the changes that I want, stuff like that. Because we all go through ups and downs like that, especially if you're, trying to be active or things like that, or lift or do whatever kind of physical activity it is that you like. Being consistent is more, I wouldn't say more important. Motivation is obviously going to come into play, but being consistent is, I don't want to say more important. I'm trying to think of a better word. It yields better results. Like, I mean, that's where you get results from, is consistency. So I hope that answers the question. Yes. Oh, yeah, heck yeah, for sure. Okay. So we're kind of going back and forth here in topics. I remember Superman shows up in Shazam. Maybe they address the MTC in the post credits. Yeah, we did have the headless cameo of Superman in Shazam. So, I mean, the ultimate thing that people want to see is Superman and Black Adam. And if they can somehow get this in to happen in Black Adam or to hint at it for the future, fans would lose their mind. But we would only be ecstatic if it's Henry Cavill. Like it's just gonna, yeah, it would be like, okay, they teased a future meetup between Black Adam and Superman. But if it's not Henry Cavill, it's just gonna like it's gonna suck. You know, like it's just gonna suck. You have one of the biggest characters of all time, like literally of all time ever, Superman. The Superman symbol is like the second most recognizable symbol in the world after the cross. So, like globally. And they have that character. It's like one of the biggest I mean, it's one of like the biggest IPs you could have in entertainment. And they choose to continue to screw up with Superman. And I hope that now that since there's new leadership, I know it's hard. We have these like thoughts and these feelings towards it because of what we've been seeing the past several years. But hopefully, with new leadership in place, you know, hopefully that changes. And hopefully, because it wouldn't make sense for them to come in and take and change leadership and change the organization as far as like how they want to have like DC New Line, I think how they're trying to organize things. It wouldn't make sense for them to come in and change things like that and then do the same thing that the previous people were doing. Like they have to go in a different direction. That's what I think. It could look like the teaser of Superman, like in the animated Dark Knight Returns Part 1. Well, I mean, even if they do something, I don't know. I just feel like if they do it, it needs to be Henry Cavill. He needs to have dialogue, and he needs to. I don't want him just there, like, oh yeah, this is Superman. No, like, I see what you're saying, but you know, it needs to be Henry Cavill, and we need to see him and hear him. I feel like if they really want to like restore their relationship with fans and creators and all that what they talked about before the merger was going through, if they want to restore those kinds of things, then that they need to like it's not even take I was going to say take a risk. It's not even taking a risk. It's not taking a risk by using your next to Batman, your biggest flagship character. Like it's not a risk. There's obviously a huge demand, fan demand. So it's not a risk to continue using the Henry Cavill as Superman. It's more of a risk to recast Superman and to start over and to try to reboot the character. That's more of a risk, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't blame him either for not wanting to do cameos without knowing that he has a future as Superman. Like they don't. I mean, it wouldn't be fair for them to be like, can you just come do this like this quick appearance for us? But we don't really know what we want to do with the character moving forward. And how you're going to be involved in that. That wouldn't really be fair. Like, they can't just want to have him when it's convenient and then be like unsure of what direction they want to go. That's not fair. Man of Steel is my favorite Superman as well. So Koji says, I'd like to see a scene of Superman, not a tease. Has to be Cavill. How many times do fans say Cavill's? Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. It's not we need to it's not at the point anymore where it's like we want to see how fans react or we want to see the feedback and stuff like that. It's not that anymore. I mean, it's not that anymore. They know. How long has it been since Man of Steel came out? It's been years. Okay? It's been like a decade. So they know. And the old regime, as we keep calling them, they knew too. They knew. But they chose to listen to people that complained about Man of Steel and BVS and Zack Snyder instead of the actual bigger, louder voice, which was the fans and people who actually started to care about Superman because of Man of Steel. And so they chose to listen to that instead, and it just went downhill from there. Hey, thank you, Strong Arm Flicks, for being here. What's up to you? Hope you're doing well. Just kind of a chill live stream, just a quick Q&A, spontaneous, wasn't planned or nothing like that. Just, seeing what's on people's minds, Q&A, just kind of having a little chat. Not really doing anything on a specific topic, but there has been a lot to talk about lately. So Nifin just came to say that you're my favorite. Oh, that is much appreciated, along with my other equally favorite YouTubers that exist in. Well, I still appreciate your support, and thank you for being here. Thank you thank you for the comment. Oh, that's okay. Thanks still for being here, and hope you are just being safe. Favorite Superman animated shows and movies. With animated stuff, it's harder for me to pinpoint like a favorite. For me, that's just much more of like a broader thing. I guess sorry, I need to text back my family member really quick. It's kind of important. I missed her phone call. Let me just text her back real quick. So movies. Okay, animated shows and movies. So that includes animated movies. I don't know if I really have a favorite as far as animated shows and movies. I do enjoy the DC animated shows and movies. I don't have as much in my library, I guess you would say, of like things like ones that I remember as specifically. You know what I mean? Like I do like to watch the animated stuff. I don't know if I have a favorite though. So that's probably a crappy answer. Sorry. Yes, definitely. Henry Cavill for life. For sure. So MKF 30, sorry. Who do you think is the most popular worldwide overall, Superman, Batman, or Spider-Man? Oh, as a character. Okay. Worldwide. That's a good question. And those are probably, definitely those are the three top, I would say. That's pretty difficult. I still think Superman and Batman would be like neck and neck. And then I think Spider-Man would be like right behind them. Because they all, I think as a kid, those were probably the three that I was most like the earliest memories of like being familiar with, right? Superman, Batman, and Spider-Man. Like those are the ones that I personally have the earliest memories of and like watching those characters, right? And of course, when the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies came out, that was like, that was a big deal. So I still remember watching the first one as a kid. And I still prefer those ones as well. What is Hunter Iggy? Oh, thanks for being here, Hunter. You've been a long-time supporter, so I appreciate it. What is your thoughts on Namor being Hispanic descent in Wakanda Forever? I don't see any. I don't really see a problem with that. I don't think it's, I wouldn't say it's like a negative thing. I appreciate cultural representation. And as far as like, Marvel took a while to start doing that. Let's not get it twisted. Like they took a while to start. Obviously it took forever for Black Panther to show up on screen. So, and he has, in my opinion, that's one of the best Marvel movies, in my opinion, is Black Panther. So I do think that, but now recently they've been having more cultural representations. Like I really do appreciate Moon Knight and Miss Marvel for showing Middle Eastern, representing Middle Eastern cultures. And well, Egypt is African, but still kind of goes together. They kind of overlap sometimes with Egyptian, and Miss Marvel is Pakistani. So I appreciate that. I appreciate the cultural representation. I don't think, I think as long as like the story and like the character work well, I don't really think that it should make a difference one way or the other about ethnicity. But people do tend, those things become noticeable in these comic book characters because, people are used to how they look in, the comics and the animated shows and stuff like that, and who they're supposed to represent and stuff like that. Oh, well, thanks. They did play it. Yeah, yeah, I know. They took a long time to have some diversity. And that was, I think, something else that people kind of overlooked with Zach's DCEU, is that he had a lot of like diversity from the beginning, and people, and I feel like the studio didn't really, they probably, I mean, it doesn't seem like they appreciated that. He completely overhauled Aquaman. Let's just get it. I mean, a lot of people don't want to give him credit for the success with Aquaman, but he did play a major hand. He's a producer on that movie. If I'm not mistaken, I think he also was involved in the story. I don't know. But as far as the character itself, I'm pretty sure a live action film of Aquaman based off of the just blonde hair, blue eyed surfer type of Aquaman would not have made $1 billion. So people have to give credit to Zach for overhauling Aquaman in the first place and making him like a badass and like this, like just totally different character, right? And having like long hair and beard and tattoos and like being this islander, like, yeah, they have to give him credit for that. MKF, I think the cast for Blue Beetle is perfect. The guy from Cobra Kai is perfect for Jaime Reyes. I think the suit looks epic. Yeah, thanks for bringing up Blue Beetle. I remember making a video about that as well. I do think Sholo. I can't remember. I always get his name wrong. But yes, he's from Cobra Kai, and it is. I think it's always cool. I think it's cool when like people who have been like a popular fan cast actually get cast as that character. Like, I think that's cool. And that kind of happened with him. A lot of people were fan casting him to be Blue Beetle / Jaime Reyes. And so I think the suit looks cool as well. And I always appreciate when set pictures look good from just like someone's phone or camera or whatever, because a lot of times suits don't look good on like just regular set pictures because it's not, cinematic quality. It's just like a regular picture. Then you see them on screen and like, okay, they're not that bad. It looks pretty good. But when a suit looks good, in my opinion, on set pictures, and those were pretty good quality too, it's a good sign that it's going to look even better, obviously even better in the movie. Thank you, Skip. Thank you for the super chat. Hope all is well. Yes, I will give him hello. Oh, cool. Enjoy. Let me know what you think. I'm sure you will. I'm sure it's definitely going to be interesting. But no, we are going to watch it. We're going to watch it this weekend too. So I hope you enjoy yourself. Let me know what you think. And yeah, should be a good time. And I appreciate your support. Thank you so, so much. Let me know what you think of Love and Thunder. I am super excited to see Natalie Portman, though, because I think she's going to look awesome. And I'm glad that they brought her back. I like the guy from Smallville was also great. Yes, Aquaman, dude's bigger than Jason Momoa and he's tank. In Reacher, he's a tank. Just my opinion, though. Besides Cavill, I felt Welling was a great Superman. Yes, I agree. Tom Welling was a great Clark Kent. He always says that he plays Clark, that he played, if you listen to him like talk about Smallville and who, like his character, which was obviously Clark Kent / Superman, he always says he played Clark Kent. He doesn't ever say he played Superman, because that's kind of what the show was. It was like he wasn't Superman until obviously the end of the 10 seasons, but he was Clark Kent, and he was, just helping people when he could. He was the Blur or whatever they called him. Or was that the Flash? Didn't they called him something similar to that in Smallville? But I thought Smallville is the GOAT of like Superman TV shows. Okay. And Tom Welling was amazing. And so was Michael Rosenbaum as Lex Luthor. He was a great on-screen, like, Lex Luthor. And they're actually starting a new podcast called Talkville, talking about Smallville, in case you're interested. I follow them on Instagram, and they've been sharing about it lately. So Talkville is going to be their new podcast talking about Smallville, kind of going over the history of the show. And yes, talking about Aquaman and Smallville, you're talking about, oh my God, what's his name? I have, it's like on the tip of my tongue. I follow him, Alan Rickson. He was a really good on-screen Aquaman too. I agree. And I think Reacher was a great show on Amazon Prime. Totally looking forward to season 2. Yeah, he was a good Aquaman too. I agree. Let's see. Maybe we will get a static cameo in Blue Beetle. You never know. Well, I think that's not a stretch because I do remember a while back that there was some kind of announcement about a Static Shock. Um, Michael B. Jordan, right? I think involved in that project. So I don't think that would be that's a fair assumption or a fair prediction to make, since they did bring up Static Shock a while back. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. The blur. Yeah, that's what I thought. Thank you for confirming. Yeah, there you go. yeah, yeah. I was like, I don't think I'm getting them mixed up. And they also had a Flash on the Smallville. Smallville had like all the characters over the years, right? They had everybody. Smallville was great. Yeah, 10 years, like a 10-year learning curve. That's yeah. And what I also really liked about Smallville was like the thing to me about Smallville is let me read this comment and I'll get back to my thoughts. Smallville, in my opinion, best hero show overall for me. Just something about it also paved the way for all DC and Marvel shows. Yeah, okay, that's kind of where I was headed with my comment. For people who like they went there with like they did not water him down. They didn't water down Clark / Superman on Smallville. They didn't water him down. They didn't water down Lex Luthor. Like Lex Luthor was smart and like witty, and he asked the questions that like when you're watching something and you're like, how could they not know that it's him? Or how could they not notice this? You know what I mean? Michael Rosenbaum's Lex Luthor asked those questions. Like he was always asking Clark, how are you doing this? And how are you showing up here? And how did you get here so fast? And how did you like he asked those questions. And I loved one of my favorite things about the show was Lex Luthor's arc. And like over the years, they started out as great friends. And then just kind of seeing that turn to what it became, it was they did such a great job on that show. Like it's still super enjoyable if you watch it now. Yeah, Bart Allen was the Flash that they had, but then it was cool that they kind of like showed all his different IDs that he had, and he had like the other Flash names. So that was pretty cool too. And seeing them race and everything. I mean, of course, yeah. If you, of course, I mean, if you go back and watch it now, yeah, it is kind of old. So some things might be a little bit, cheesy or whatever. But overall, like it's still, an enjoyable show to watch, and it has aged well, and like it still holds up over the years. Like technically the longest and biggest prequel story. Yeah, no kidding. Like, I mean, it's crazy to me that they actually waited that long to show him in a suit and flying, except for when he would be under the influence of red kryptonite, he would fly. When he was like evil Superman under red kryptonite, and those were some of my favorite episodes, to be honest. So it was, I mean, he knew that he could fly because he would do it under the influence of red kryptonite. But then when he wasn't under that influence, he wouldn't push himself to fly. But they really took, like, I mean, people died on that show, okay, at the hands of, I mean, he didn't go and snap people's necks, but like people died. And if you're gonna like, there's so many parallels between Man of Steel and Smallville. So for people, I don't understand the people that like love Smallville and hate Man of Steel. If you go back and watch Smallville after seeing Man of Steel, there are so many parallels and like similarities. So they are very similar Superman, like a lot of things. And I love that show. If you're a 90s kid, you know Cyborg in Smallville was the famous Jackson. Oh, yeah. They also had Cyborg. That's right. They had, like I said, they had pretty much every character, which was awesome. I also really liked, what's her name? Erica Dunstan, something like that, who played Lois. I really liked her as Lois Lane as well. I hope WB greenlights the animated Smallville show that Rosenbaum and Welling are working on. Did you hear about that? I think I did hear about that a while back. Also, Tom looked huge in Crisis compared to Brennan and Tyler's Clock. Yeah, okay, that is something that I was kind of sad about. Not the fact that he looked huge, but well, he's much bigger. He's a big guy. Um, I was like, when they said that he was going to be on that crossover and they had all the different, the cameos and stuff. I was really, really, really hoping to see him in a suit, because after all those seasons, and then you kind of see him in the suit for just this a little bit, like I really wanted to see him in a suit as Superman in that crossover. But he was just Clark, and he didn't have his powers anymore. Well, he did to an extent, because he like kind of was threatening. He wanted to show Lex Luthor that he wasn't messing around. But I didn't like that didn't have his powers anymore, and that they didn't show him in a suit. Like, he's a great Clark Kent, and I will like forever agree with that. But I really wanted to see him in a suit, because it would have just been so cool after all those years. Marcos, your thoughts on them reporting that the Flash One fan award was compromised? That's bull. I mean, of course, there's always going to be, they just don't want Snyder or the fans to have any wins. You know what I mean? Like, the movie finally came out. Zach got to finish his movie. I mean, well, waiting to see Green Lantern. But, Erica Durance. Yes, thank you. Okay. Um, that's not fair. I mean, just because it was a fan voted thing and you can do it on Twitter or their website or whatever, that was up to them to make it that way. The Oscars, like the Academy, they chose to have it that way. So you can't turn around and say that it was compromised or it was bots or whatever. Like, I'm sure they had ways of um you know like guarding from bots and stuff like that. I mean, plus it's no, they just want to say stuff like that. Just because he won both. It's like, oh well. I mean, the fans came out in a force just like we usually do. Sullivan's barn was most. Oh, the barn. Yeah. Um, Smallville animated Superman series prep me for men. Yeah, there's so many parallels and um, similarities. And
You said code. Wait, what are you saying?
yeah, I didn't like that Clark gave up being Superman. I know, and I don't know. Like, I kind of wish I wish they wouldn't have done that. Like, I don't know. I get maybe it was Tom Welling. Maybe because, like I said, he always says I played Clark Kent. He does not say that he played Superman, because that's what the show was. But then at the end, he finally took on being Superman. And if they were gonna bring him in for that cameo, like, it would have been really cool to see him as Superman in a suit. You know, after all those years. Zack Snyder, the goat. Yes, definitely, definitely the goat. Um, and I don't know. I just don't understand the hate. You know, for what? Smallville hemmed up hiding powers for safety. Yeah, I mean, um, exactly. Like, they told him the same kind of things that his dad tells him in Man of Steel. His parents told him, you need to hide this. Like, don't be doing all this stuff. Don't be revealing yourself. And, like, even though, yes, we know you want to help or you want to do this or that, but, like, people could get hurt. They didn't want him to play sports, um, things like that. Because, especially as a teenager growing up, they're probably like, we don't know what you're really capable of. Um, like, what if someone dies, or what if someone gets severely, like, yes, that's a real list. If Superman, because they're pretty similar in the fact that, like, if Superman was in the real world, how would it be for him, and Smallville touched on those kind of things. Not everything, but a lot of things, like Man of Steel. And um you know there's nothing wrong with that. It's not a bad thing. Some fans speculate that Clark still had his powers, but he was wearing a blue kryptonite watch to suppress them. Yeah, I do think he still had his powers, like I said, because what did he do? He tore the book, or he did something to show Clark Kent that, like, I mean, Lex Luthor not to threaten him or his family. So, yeah, I do think he still had his powers, but yeah, I think you're right. He was suppressing them. Um, but I just wanted to see him with his powers. I wanted to see him in a suit and as Superman because they had Brandon Routh come back, which was pretty cool. That they did that because I don't think he had really had a fair shot at being Superman. I don't think he was a bad casting choice as Superman. I actually think Brandon Routh was a pretty good casting choice for Superman, um, and Clark. But the story that they wrote for that movie for Superman Returns was terrible in my opinion. Could have been so much better, especially for Lex. Braxton, thanks for being in the chat. Man of Steel was the Superman movie I always wanted to see when I was a teenager. Yeah, see, and like I've seen so many people say that Man of Steel made them care about Superman, and that Man of Steel, like they never, you know, cared about Superman before Man of Steel because he wasn't relatable, and he was like he couldn't be defeated, and he, besides with kryptonite, and you know, he was just everything was too easy for him, and he, you know what I mean, like it wasn't relatable. And then Man of Steel came and completely just took that perspective. Like that was a totally different perspective in Man of Steel, is that he had challenges. He had, you know, feelings of like, I don't want to, like, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to help people or am I not? Like, I have this responsibility. But at the same time, the world's not going to accept me. And that's why I loved when Ray Fisher said, do we really think that if Superman really existed, which is what Man of Steel, that was the perspective of Man of Steel and BVS, do you really think the world would accept him? And I love when Ray Fisher was like, we can't even accept, people don't even accept each other as humans for being different from them. How would it be if Superman was real? Of course it would be the way Man of Steel and BVS portray him. And people didn't appreciate, the world did not appreciate him until he died. You know, that's realistic. Um, and I also wish that we could have seen, speaking of Superman dying, how Zach said that the fight with Doomsday was actually supposed to be like where people could see it, like in the city. It wasn't supposed to be in an abandoned port. So that way the world could see him sacrificing himself for them. I wish we could have had that. I wish they would have let Zach do that. I agree. I totally think Tom is more of an older Superman, like Alex Ross style or a future black suit. Yeah. Yeah, I could see him as that kind of Superman as well, with the white, like the Kingdom Come. I guess that's kind of what they did with my daughter singing. Sorry, um, they put the white on his hair. Okay. Oh, hey Amanda. Sorry, I was just doing something in the chat, but thank you for being here. Thanks for popping up. Uh, Superman and Black Adam's going to fill it. Well, Eduardo, I hope so. I really do. Um, I really do hope so. I mean, like I said, like the rumor that came out about the credit scene that they supposedly added to Black Adam. I mean, they did push that back, and so if they were going to,
Mommy.
um, if they did go and add, if they used that time to add a credit scene, and then say they tested it with test audiences or something like that. Maybe they just wanted to get, maybe they did it with test audiences and they want to get a feel for how people respond to that. And I hope that they see that fans don't want that. We want, you know, Henry Cavill, especially because we know, and The Rock tweeted about it recently. He knows what the fans want. He hears us. He sees us. Like that's what he's always wanted, right? And we know because we see the picture of him and Henry Cavill. You know, I'm gonna pull it up, and he tweeted about it because he knows the fans want that, and fans have wanted that. And I mean, Dwayne Johnson, he's been waiting how long to be able to make this movie? I mean, it's been over a decade. Okay, here we go. Let me share my screen real quick. He's been waiting so long, um, you know, to make this movie. And let me switch. I mean, how long has he been waiting for this? You know what I mean? Like, forever. And that's what we all want to see, you know? And he knows that that's what people want to see. So that's what we want to see. And yes, I agree. Every time I watch Man of Steel, I get emotional. I still get emotional watching Man of Steel. I mean, especially because of Hans Zimmer score. It's ridiculous how amazing it is. um, they appreciated Superman more after he died. Reminded me of when Michael Jackson died. Yeah, like, well, that's what happens with just like anyone in the limelight or celebrities or whoever. I mean, people that are, um, you know, I don't want to say device, but people that like things that can be controversial. And Zack Snyder made it to where like there are people who loved Superman and people who and kind of worshipped him in a way. Like when we see that in Mexico when he saves the girl from the burning building, how they kind of like worship him. And on the other hand, there's people that are they want him to burn and well treating him terribly, so they don't appreciate him at all. So or they don't think that he should be able to make decisions about who should he save and all. He made it very realistic, and people didn't appreciate that. Um, so, and yeah, he did tweet about it a lot, The Rock. So he knows, but it's just a matter of being able to actually do it. Superman goes to Black Adam for help because Darkseid's coming. That's my theory. It's possible. It's possible. But then But with that, then they would have to acknowledge that. Then that means that they would have to move forward with Darkseid coming to Earth. So that would be a lot. I mean, they would have to say that that's where they're going in the future with the movie, with like the Justice League. So that would be awesome. But we would be happy about that because then we would have to really. Then that means they would have to do that, which would be great if they actually go down that path and continue with what's been started in Zack Snyder's Justice League. Amanda, what would you think of an alternate Superman Returns movie where James Marsden was Superman and Parker Posey was Lois Lane? I think she would have been the perfect Lois. James Marsden is I like him as an actor. I'm gonna have to look up Parker Posey because I'm not sure I recognize the name at first glance. James Marsden, I can see physically how you would put him in the Superman or Clark Kent category. I do like him as okay. I see where you're going. It's just really hard for me to not see Henry Cavill as Superman. But if you're talking about like something that was disconnected from the DCEU and separately, then I think that would be fine. But my thing is just like before they start doing things that are like, okay, we see like we have different versions of Joker, we have different versions of Batman, and they have their own movies, and that's fine. But like, I think Henry Cavill needs to have his own movie before they start doing other stuff like that. Like we already know that the Batman's going to have another movie with Robert Pattinson. We know now that Joker's going to have a sequel, like things that are a separate universe. So with Superman, I feel like they need to give Henry Cavill his own movie before they try to do like alternate universes with Superman, if that makes sense. Um, so that's, before they start doing alternate versions of Superman, I think Henry Cavill needs to have another movie of his own. Do you think Snyder was inspired by Injustice with the nightmare sequence and the dark future Superman? Oh, definitely. Um, I mean, I think so. I don't know if he has actually said that or confirmed that, but I think that when we first all saw that scene, um, um, when we all first saw that movie, um, and that scene, the nightmare scene, I think probably one of the first things we all thought was Injustice, right? Um, even though, I mean, yeah, I mean, there's no way, there's no way that, and people, that's such a popular like version of, that's just a popular universe, I guess you call it, like its own universe. And so I don't know why people freaked out about it, but I guess because of general audiences, but whatever. Um, Snyder was doing stuff that the fans want to see. If Snyderverse is being restored, then minor changes in Black Adam to help it possibly included in Snyderverse in Snyder's story makes sense for them. Yeah, see, since they pushed it back again, which wasn't really surprising, I guess, because the merger was happening. Um, but if they, like, hopefully they use that time, because I know when all these things got pushed back, when the merger was happening, a lot of people are like, oh, they're making changes to fit it into the Snyderverse, which I know that that's easy to assume. And it's like, it makes us hopeful, we want to be optimistic about it. Hopefully that's the case. Oh, but we just don't know, or we're not going to know until, we actually see the movie. So they should keep this separate. I'm not sure what you're referring to. I guess we were talking about two different things, like different universes. Let's see. Cavill can have a Superman standalone story take place in the 18 months between Man of Steel and BVS. That is a pretty, yeah, I guess I never thought about that. Um, that is like a pretty significant period of time that has gone by that I hadn't thought about. So yeah, I guess I could see that. I guess, yeah, it would either have to be that, or it would have to be after Justice League, because he dies at the end of BVS, and then he comes back in Zack Snyder's Justice League. So it would either have to be something like that, like a period of time that we didn't see, or after Justice League takes place. Did you see the interview with Bale saying he'd be Batman again if Nolan was involved? Think we could see a future multiverse story with Keane? Oh man, that would be pretty crazy. I don't think that Bale would actually. I mean, even if he said that about Nolan, we know Nolan's not going to do that, because he's like, he walked away from Warner Brothers. I know things are different now, but I think it would probably take a lot for him to have to go back to Warner Brothers, and they would probably have to really like gain his trust with the new leadership to go back. And I think he's done with that world, in my opinion. As far as like a multiverse story with all these versions of Batman, that would be pretty cool. But I don't know if, I mean, I think Keaton and Affleck would do it, and Pattinson, but I don't know if Christian Bale would. Maybe if they're like, it's just, we don't want you to have to continue to be Batman. It's just like for this quick thing. I think that's possible, but it would be pretty cool. It would be pretty cool. Injustice and the Dark Knight Returns. Yeah, I definitely saw the Injustice inspiration. I definitely want Henry Cavill above all else. Just seems crazy that both these actors were in Superman Returns but not cast in these roles. Yeah, it was pretty interesting that Henry Cavill auditioned for Superman Returns. I'm glad that he didn't. I'm glad that he didn't get that role because there was, like I said, a good casting. Brendan Ralph was perfectly fine, but a bad story. So I'm glad Henry Cavill didn't get that movie. Um, so, you know, Eduardo, I think a lot of people are saying this right now, but um, because there was an opinion piece that came out about that. But I don't. I think that something factual, like legally, would have to take place before they just decide to be done with him. I know there's like a lot of. I mean, even people being accused of things can cause them to be dropped from projects or franchises. But I think that after what happened with Johnny Depp, I think they should be. They probably need to be more cautious about just dropping people before they know the whole story. Um, so I'm sure that they are considering a lot of things with Ezra Miller. I'm sure they're considering like what to do in that situation. But I do think that they would probably need to proceed with caution and not just make a like not rush to a decision to be done with him after the Flash movie until they really know. I'm sure they know more than the public, but I think they need to know all of the sides and legally and things would, you know what I mean? They can't just like rush to it without knowing everything because that doesn't always turn out good. Some people want Ginger Wally West as Flash since Miller is. No one has said he's gone. That's not confirmed. Like we don't really know what's going on with that. So we don't know, but people are just assuming that, especially after that opinion article came out and made it seem like a some kind of confirmation, but it's not. Do you think we will ever see Amy Adams back as Lois Lane? I hope so. I really like her as Lois. It'd be it'd be. I hope so. I don't really know how. I mean, besides a Superman or a Justice League movie, I don't really know how they would fit her into another movie. I'm trying to think of like upcoming. We have Black Adam coming up, The Flash, Aquaman. I don't see where she would fit in no, like any of those. I mean, we know she's not going to be in those movies, but just thinking of what's coming up in the near future, besides a Superman movie or a Justice League movie, or if Superman had like a bigger role in Black Adam and like Lois was involved in like a little bit, but I don't see how she would be involved besides a Superman or a Justice League movie. But I would like to see her again. I read that Welling was offered for Superman Returns, but couldn't do two Smallville commitments. So Henry and Brandon were auditioning before they went with Ralph. I don't know. I've never heard that, but I can't say. I have no idea. I have no idea. But that would. I mean, I would have. I think Tom Welling could have definitely held the role of a live action um, Superman in a movie for sure. I definitely think so. Um, hello, Mike ATOL. Thank you for stopping by. We'll probably wrap it up here in about 5 minutes or so. If in Snyderverse, I like how Clark calls Lois. Yeah, I like that too. That's a cute little detail. I like that too. The tech of the JSA aircraft makes me think it might came from a other world, like perhaps Thanagar, but then Hawkman will have more mechanical wings instead of an organic one. That's an interesting thought. Yeah, I don't know, but interesting thought. Thanks for bringing that up. Who do you want to see appear in the Black Canary series? I haven't really given that much thought, to be honest. I mean, I think it's cool that she's getting a series. I know a lot of people like liked Journey Smollett as Black Canary. I liked her. I mean, the Birds of Prey movie was, ugh, but I did like her. Um, I just wish the one thing about her character, the complaint that I had is that, like, I wish we would have seen her use her powers more. I know that in the movie, she holds back because she, what happened with her mom and everything. But I really wish they would have showed it. I would have like, she's the one who has powers in that movie, and you barely get to see them. So I wish we could have seen her powers more. So maybe in the series, they'll do better about that with her character. I don't really know who I want to see. Um, I haven't really thought about it, to be honest. Um, but maybe it'll turn out to be a pretty good series because a lot of people have, kind of like campaigned for that, and like expressed that they would like to see that. I think I remember Tom Welling saying he auditioned for Superman Returns, but didn't get it. Okay, okay, so a few of you remember that. Well, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty shocking to me that he didn't get it. I mean, Brandon Ralph, like I said, was a good decision, but I mean, after playing that character for a long time, I mean, I guess it's kind of surprising that he didn't get it. Um, who is your fan cast for the MCU Fantastic Four? Oh man, I haven't thought about that either. The only time I think about it is when I see other people fan cast people, actors for those roles. But I do think it was cool. Let me see if I what they said about what's his name, the cameo that we got in Doctor Strange. That they only cast. Oh, here it is, John Krasinski. Yeah, that they only cast him because of fan demand. And this was like a one-off. This is not something that's going to continue. So I thought he was a good choice. And I thought it was like when I saw him, I was like, oh my God, that's who's everyone has been wanting to see as, Reed Richards. But it was just a one-off, and it's not going to continue long term. But they make a good point here, that people like this is if yeah, listening to their fans. I wish DC did the same. Exactly. If the new leadership, like taking care of the whole DC thing, DC live action, if they learn anything from what the previous leadership team, what they did wrong, if they learn anything from that, it should be don't dismiss fan demand. Like, don't listen to your fans. Like, those are the consumers. Those are people paying for your content. Those are people who want, you know what I mean? Listen to your fans. Yes, the creators, I mean, you have to listen to them too. If the creators are trying to listen to the fans, let them do that. If there's one thing that they need to learn, it's that. Listen to your fans. I mean, Marvel released that what show was it for Falcon and Winter Soldier? The dance scene in the club with God, I have so many names in my head right now. The villain, what's his name? Oh my God. They released that dancing in the club just because fans wanted it after the directors talked about it. Like Zemo, they did that just because of fans. Like, just listen to your fans. That's the number one most important thing that they need to learn is listen to your fans. I'm curious about Dr. Fate, by Pierce. Me too. Me too. I think that's going to be a standout. I think he'll be a standout. Um, there was something up here that I missed that I wanted to go back to. Brandon, thanks for stopping by the live stream. Hello, Super. Hello. Peacemaker was a big hit for HBO Max. They should be doing more DC shows, maybe Snyderverse-based shows on the platform. I think since they have HBO Max, the smartest thing to do would be let the Snyderverse live there, do Snyderverse stuff on HBO Max. And if you want to do others, I mean, now that there's new leadership in place, I don't know what they're going to do. But, um, you know, I think that would be the smartest thing to do. Do you think WBD will restore the Snyderverse? I can only hope so. I hope that they learn to listen to their fans because that's exactly what the last leadership did not do. Um, I, I really do hope that they listen to the fans and eventually, in some way, it doesn't have to be like, I mean, Zach has a lot going on. Um, so it doesn't have to be like he's gonna do everything. It just means like continue with what he started. Continue with Henry Cavill. Go down that bring back get Joe Manganiello for Deathstroke. Like use the Lex Luthor, like Jesse Eisenberg. Like have that universe. And if you want to have your other universes, like they didn't have a problem making a separate Batman universe. Why can't you have the Snyderverse? Like, why, if you're going to bring up the multiverse as a thing, then that means you can have all these different things, including Henry Cavill, including Ben Affleck's Batman, including, Joe Manganiello. Do that. Just do it. I don't understand the problem. Yeah, exactly. If Marvel does anything, they listen to their fans. I mean, yeah, they usually have bad CGI and crappy visuals and stuff like that. They don't really care about those things. Obviously, they don't put a whole. They're as far as those things, they don't improve over time, in my opinion. They just don't. But they don't care. They know that their fans are going to watch it anyway because they continue to make things that their fans want to watch. I mean, Thor's arguable. What they did with Thor, that's arguable. But if they see that there's fans who like something, they're going to keep doing it. And they just continue to make things for their fans. You know what I mean? I think quality over quantity, but that's what they're going to do. They are good at what they do. And when they do things like this because of fan demand, like, I mean, that's a good thing. What's up, Braxton? Thanks for stopping by. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, Cox back as Daredevil. Yeah, exactly. Like, see what I mean? Like, I think if they continue with the Daredevil series, because that was a great series. Season 2 kind of lost me like halfway through. I wasn't as into it, but then they came back with season 3 and it was really good. The first season was great. If they continue with the Daredevil thing, they need to continue in the same vein as how it was before they took it off of Netflix, before they pulled it and took it over to Disney Plus. I hope they do that because it was really good. I hope they don't water it down and just make it silly. You know what I mean? If they continue with that. And it was cool to see him show up in Spider-Man as well. So thank you guys. I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping it up, but thank you guys for stopping by. I know this was just like a quick little, random live stream, but it's just been a long time since I've done a live stream. So I kind of just wanted to stop by and say thank you for the support on the channel. And, I do appreciate it. So if you are wondering, my Twitter handle and my Instagram username are down below. Twitter at SuperHiveDC and Instagram Brooks_Hive. And if you, feel so inclined, leave a thumbs up and or subscribe to my channel. I do appreciate all of the support. I really, really do. And yeah, thank you guys. Hope you have a good night. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for the questions, comments, and everything. And yeah, we'll see you guys soon with another video, hopefully on the channel. Hopefully some more exciting things come out, or maybe I'll do another live stream soon. But thank you guys and have a good night.